Okay, we are going to study what is known as a next topic or a next the technique, and it is known as branch and bound. Okay, you would have seen a lot of things related to backtracking. I think we started a lot, we have studied close to 4 algorithms related to backtracking. Today we are going to see about branch and bound. What is this branch and bound and how does it work? What is an example for it? There's a very famous example and that you're going to solve today also. But before that, we are going to see what is branch and bound. As the name suggests, we are talking about something that is going to branch and it is constrained with regard to a bounding function. With regard to bound, what is bound? Bound is nothing but a constraint or a condition. Okay, so what we are studying now, today we are studying branch and bound. This is very important for you to know what it is and all. Okay, so we are studying branch and bound. In this branch and bound, the first thing that you need to keep in mind is what is this? It is similar to your backtracking, but with a little bit of a difference. What is the difference? Okay, I'll show it in a pictorial way. If you go for a backtracking, the backtracking is basically a depth first search method. Okay, so you first analyze the full depth of it, then you go back to the top. How? Think of an example like this. You start with one node, then you go to 2, then you go to 3, then you go to 4 like this. You are always analyzing the depth of it. Okay, only when this 4 doesn't work, okay, only when you 4 doesn't work or you reach a dead end, you go back and see 3, the 5 will be coming through like this. This is your what is known as backtracking. You are going with depth first search and this is how it looks. But if you go for branch and bound, okay, if you go for branch and bound, this is basically a breadth first search method. Now what is the meaning of breadth first search method? You are not going to analyze the depth of it and then come back. No, you are going to analyze each and every possibilities that you can have. So you got 1, okay, you are going to analyze things like this, 2, okay, then 3, then 4. See, you're going to analyze each and every aspect, each and every possibilities of it. Then only you go to the next one. You don't go like this. Okay, it's like, keep on going like this. If this doesn't work, then you come back, backtrack. Then you do this. If this doesn't work, come back, do this one. It's not going to be working like that. It's going to be working like this. Okay, if I have to add one more node here, where do you think it will be? It will be coming right here. Okay, it will be coming, the 6 will be coming right here, because after this will doesn't work, it will backtrack, it will be coming to 2 here, and then the work of 6 will be done here. Now when you think of BFS here, it basically works through like this. Okay, it basically works through like this, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you got your 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then if these things are not working, then only you go to your 5 and 6. Okay, then only you go to your 5 and 6 like this. This is with regard to breadth first search. And what is this? This is nothing but your branch and bound technique. Okay, very important for you to know. Now, where do you think this will be used? This branch and bound technique will be very much used in your optimization problems. What is optimization problem? When you want to figure out anything that is minimization, anything related to minimization, if you want to find out, then we basically use our branch and bound technique. Okay, very important technique. Now for this, there are various examples that you can use. What are the examples that you're going to learn? There are 2-3 examples. Of course, you're not going to learn it's, if it would have been an, for an exam, it will be even more better, but whatever that's possible, okay, you're going to learn. Okay, so what is the first technique? The first technique or the first problem that you learn under your branch and bound is nothing but your assignment problem. Okay, what is that assignment problem in detail we are going to see today. Okay, the next thing is you even know to do it using knapsack. Okay, you have done knapsack using 2 techniques. One is greedy method and also dynamic programming, right? Greedy method and dynamic programming, 6A, 6B, lab program it was. Okay, so using branch and bound technique also we can do our knapsack method. Okay, and there's one more thing also which you have already done using your dynamic programming, which is nothing but your traveling salesman problem. Okay, traveling salesman problem which you have done even in your dynamic programming. This problem can be even solved in using our branch and bound, B and B. Using branch and bound technique also we can sort of do these problems. Okay, so I think we are going to study all these three problems. Okay, all three problems if you study, I think it will be the end of branch and bound technique. Then there'll be one more problem that left out, okay, which is nothing but NP and NP hard and all. This is nothing but the complexity related problems and all. It's not problems, majority theory. Okay, fully theory. We'll see that later. Okay, once we sort of get to know this. Okay, now you got to know what is branch and bound. It is nothing but similar to your backtracking, but it employs your BFS method. Okay, now if I want to put this in form of a, see this BFS thing, right? If I want to put this in form of a queue and all, how do you think it will be put through? What is queue? First of all, queue is nothing but your first and first out. Okay, if I have to analyze this in form of a FIFO or in form of a queue, how do you think it will be represented? It will be represented like this. Okay, first one will be 1, so that will be coming right here. And the next one that will be analyzed is nothing but your 2, then 3, then 4. Okay, then 5, then 6. This if it is represented in form of a queue, right? But if you go and write what is a queue representation with regard to this backtracking, what is going to happen? This will be changing. Okay, it will again be changing. But how do you think it will be changing? It will be like 1 only, then 2, then 3, okay, then 4, then 5, then 6. This is also same only. But look at the way it is going. It is best going like this. Then if it doesn't work, it backtracks, comes like this. Then it again doesn't work, backtracks, comes like this. Okay, the way of analyze or way of the values are iterated is very much different. Okay, now we are more worried about a branch and bound technique, right? So this is how it basically looks through. If you go for last in first out, which is nothing but the representation using your stack. Okay, how do you think it will be? It will be represented like this. Again, the same old thing. First, 1 will be coming through. So where do you think the 1 will be? 1 will be right here. Then last in first out, right? So you can see the next thing. 2 will be coming here. 3 coming here. 4. Of course, this is not a right way to even put the stack to. When you're putting the stack, you will not be putting in form of an horizontal way, right? You always put in form of a vertical representation like this. So what is it? 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, 6. Okay, this is how the memory representation of your branch and bound will look like. It's all fine. You understood what it is, you understood what is the example for it or the memory representation, that's all fine. Most important part is the the applications of branch and bound. The first very important applications of your assignment is branch and bound is nothing but your assignment problem. This is the first thing that you need to learn. Okay, so what it is, how do you think it is represented, or how do you think this works? That is the first thing that you're going to learn today. Now, how the problem will be, first of all, that you need to know, right? So assignment problem is nothing but you need to assign jobs to people. It's very simple. Okay, we need to assign jobs to people, but there's a condition. What is that condition? So first of all, I'll be writing what is known as an assignment problem. How does the assignment problem will look like? It basically looks like this. What is the first thing? There are certain jobs. What are the jobs? You got your job 1, job 2, job 3, job 4. Then you have people. Who are the people? You have people A, B, C, D. Okay, and there is cost associated with this. What is the meaning of this? If A is doing job 1, he is going to have 9. What is this 9? 9 lakh, 9 rupees, 9, okay, 9 paisa, something like that. Some unit. Cost 9. If A is doing job 2, you need to have 2. He is doing job 3, 7. Job 4, 8. Like this, there's a cost associated with each and every one of it. So I'm going to write that cost right here. Okay, you can very clearly see what is the way I'm writing the cost. These are all costs. Okay, you don't have to worry much. It's all nothing but costs that are associated with it. Now, what are the implications of it, or what is the way you need to figure out? First and foremost, each and every person should do one job. Every person should have a job. Okay, no problem. Next thing, okay, each and every person should be doing only one job. Okay, only one job. It's not like A is doing job 1, job 2, job 3, job 4, everything, and B, C, D are sleeping. Okay, or A and B are only doing all the 4 jobs and C, D, okay, are playing. No, those things don't work. Each and every person should have a job. Every person should be doing only one job. Okay, which basically means each and every job should be done by only one person. See the way I'm writing, I'm talking about the sentences. Each and every job should be done by only one person, which is nothing but it's a very much a unique proposition. Okay, next thing is the most important part is the cost of doing the job. Okay, the cost of doing the job should be very much minimum. Okay, it should be minimum. It should not be like, okay, see, if I assign a particular job, see, A is doing a certain job, B is doing certain job, like that. Every person is doing a job, fine. But the cost of it should be as much minimum as possible. See, I told you very clearly. When I talked about branch and bound, I told you that it is used for optimization problem. That too, minimization problem. Knapsack, what is the thing that you do? You figure out what is a minimum number of, objects that you can put in your, you put in your knapsack such that the cost is maximum. Okay, there you're finding out maximum, but so what is the meaning of that? So you're converting a minimization into maximization. When you study that, you'll get to know. Okay, see, cost of doing this should be minimum. Okay, that's the most important part. So these things need to be kept in mind before we sort of figure into this. Okay, every person should be doing only one job, which basically means each and every job should be done only by one person, which basically means that it's a job proposition is very much unique. No two people are doing same job, or what is the other way of saying it? No two jobs are done by a same person. Okay, look into the words of I'm talking. That's very important. Okay, see, after this, what are the steps? That's very important. The steps are very simple. First step is you need to figure out our lower bound. What is the meaning of lower bound? The lower bound means it is nothing but a minimum value. Okay, minimum value of each job. How do you figure out a minimum value of each job? Okay, minimum value of each job for person. How do you do it? Very simple. Okay, you are going to do it, figure out the minimum value, okay, of each row. That's all, simple. If you figure out the minimum value of each row, that will be giving your LB. What is LB? LB means lower bound. Okay, so I can very clearly write that LB means is nothing but your lower bound. That's my first step. Okay, what's my step 2? Step 2 is whichever is having the lower bound. Sorry, from that lower bound, you are going to assign jobs. Okay, in that jobs, whichever is having the lowest job. Okay, lowest job. From there, you keep on continuing the aspects of it, or keep on continuing assigning job to it. You will not understand these steps until and unless we start doing the problem. Okay, so let me start doing the problem. Okay, then you will come back to the steps, then you will understand what is I'm talking about. Okay, so let me go back, figure out what is the steps of doing this. Okay, so I'll just clear it off here itself so that I have maximum screen space with me. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, I hope you can see the entire, the assignment matrix that is being given to you. What is the meaning of that? I need to figure out which person is doing what job. That's very important. Okay, which person is doing what job? A, B, C, D. Among A, B, C, D, what and all is doing, who and all is doing what sort of a job. That's all. First step, I told you very clearly that we need to figure out what is known as the lower bound. Okay, so let me write the first thing. What will be the lower bound? Lower bound will be your root of it. So what is the lower bound? I told you very clearly that you need to figure out the minimum value of each and every row. Okay, each and every row. In the first row, which is minimum 2. Okay, second row, minimum 3. Third row, minimum 1. Fourth row, minimum 2. Okay, so what is it? 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2. That is very much equal to your 8. This is your lower bound. Okay, very much your lower bound. See, we cannot take this. Some people may be thinking, so you think, you do assign like this. A, what is it? J2. Then B, what is the, smallest here? J3, assign J3. Okay, C, what is it? C, now you can't do this. See, C is also minimum is 1 only, which is nothing but again representing J3. D is again minimum J3 only. See this is a problem. Why? J2 is done. Okay, fine. J3 is done by 3 people. Okay, 3 people are doing J3. What about J1? No one is doing it. What about J4? No one is doing it. This is wrong. People who use common sense to figure out this, wrong. Okay, this is very much wrong because you can very clearly see that 3 jobs are done by same person. Same job is done by 3 people. And J1 and J4 are not at all done. It's been left out. This is not a right way. So we figure out the lower bound first because we need to go right from there. Okay, so let me do with it. Okay, so first the lower bound is found out. Yes. After that, what's the next step? The next step is very simple. Okay, so I'm going to put that in a box like this. Okay, this is my lower bound. From here, what are the choices I have? I can do the various choices. What are the various choices I can have? A. Okay, see, first I need to go with A. Okay, so now I'm going to take only with regard to A like this. Okay, or else I'll not do that because I keep on changing that. It doesn't look good. Okay, I'm going to show here itself. First, I need to go with A. I need to figure out what is job A is doing. So I need to write assuming that A is doing first job. Assuming A is doing second job. Assuming A is doing third job. Or A is even doing fourth job. We don't know which one. We need to assign whichever is smallest that we need to assign. For that, we need to figure out what is the smallest. Okay, if A is doing the first job, look into this. If A is doing the first job, what is the value or the cost that is associated with it? 9. Can write that 9 here plus. If A is doing the 9, be careful here. This is very important. See, I'm talking about this one. Okay, A doing all the jobs. Okay, if A is doing the first job, okay, be careful here. Then very clearly you can understand that B, C, D cannot do any of J1 job, right? Because A is assigned to J1. You know, J1 is done by A. So this entire J1 cannot be assigned to any B, C, D. Okay, so what's the next thing you do? You do the most other part. What's the other thing? This is very important. Okay, you need to figure out the smallest value of all other columns. Okay, smallest value of all other columns. Be careful with the way I'm writing this, or else I'll do one thing. Even if it takes times also, no problem. Okay, I am going to show it like this. See, I am trying to assign job to A1. Okay, because see very clearly, you can see very clearly that I'm assigning job to A1. See, if I do like this, it's a problem. Okay, so I'll take out that. See this, I am need to assigning J1 to A. Okay, what is the cost of it? 9. I've written very clearly here. If this job J1 is assigned to A, then I can't assign J1 to any of B, C, D. So what I do, I figure out the minimum value of between these two to assign it. I still don't know which one B, C, D will be doing it. But I'll be doing it because it's optimization. I need to figure out the minimum value among all these things. So what is the next thing I do? Minimum value among the next columns J2, J3, J4, excluding the first row. Excluding the first row, minimum value among J2, J3, J4. What is it? Minimum among 4, 8, 6. Minimum is 4. Plus minimum among 3, 1, 2, 1. Minimum among 7, 8, 4. Smallest is 4. What is the value you get? 9 plus 4 plus 1 plus 4. Very much equal to 18. So if, okay, A is doing the first job, others, if they are doing the minimum job also, why I'm saying if they are doing minimum job, because we found out the minimum values only. If they are doing the minimum values also, you come across the cost as 18. If A is doing second job, what is second job? 2. Then you need to figure out what is the minimum value among other columns here. See, J2 is now done. Okay, J2 is now done by A, so you should not take this. Other 3 columns that are there, J1, J3, J4, that you need to figure out. Don't take the first row because that is what you are trying to assign. So you're not going to take this. So if you do that, what is it? Minimum among 6, 5, 7. Okay, which is minimum. Minimum is very much your 5. First row. Then the third row, 3, 1, 2. So it is nothing but 1 only. Then the fourth row, 7, 8, 4, which is nothing but equal to 4. What is the cost you get? 2, 5, 7, 8, 12. So if A is doing job 2 and all others are doing minimum cost job only, then you get 12. Okay, then A3, think of A3 now. Okay, if A3 is doing the third job, okay, sorry, if A is doing the third job, okay, it is nothing but 7 plus, now be careful, again, we should not be taking what? We should not be taking the third column. So other 3 columns, okay, 6, 5, 7, which is smaller, 5. Second column, which is smaller, 4. Fourth column, which is smaller, 4. How much value you get? You get the value of 7 plus 5 plus 4 plus 4, 20. This is exceeding. Okay, very much exceeding. Then we go for the last one. Okay, a little bit 4, yeah. See, if you go for the last one, please zoom in if you can't see. Okay, so you go into the last one, A4. A is doing the fourth job. So you get 8 plus, we should not be taking this. Okay, we should not be considering the fourth column now, because that is what we are going to assign now. So what is going to happen? All other things you check. Between these 3 columns, you need to figure out the minimum value. 5, 4, 1. Okay, 5 plus 4 plus 1. That is equal to how much? You get the 8 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1 is very much equal to 18. What is the meaning of this? See, this is what I told you, that we are going to breadth first search. Right? We are searching for each entire breadth. Then only we go to the depth part of it. Right? We're not doing in such a way that, we are going to entire one after other. No, we are going to search for everything. Then we go into the depth of aspect of it. Okay. Now, based on this, we need to go for a job which is having a minimum cost. You have 18, 12, 20, 18. The one that is having the minimum is nothing but your 12. Right? It's very much your 12. So what are you going to do? You are going to leave out this, and this. You're only going to select this one. Okay. If A is equal to 2, you get the value as 12. Then if A is equal to 12, see, now the entire this one, right? The entire job for A is all done. You can clearly write it. Directly you can write it. Okay. That A is doing which job? A is going to do second job. One job over. Next 3 jobs are remaining. What are those 3 jobs? Next we need to think of B. One after other only we need to go now. Now we need to think of B. So what I'll do? From here, I'll give 3 choices. What are 3 choices I can have? B can be doing, see, I cannot take second job. Second job is already fully done. B can be do first job. B can do first job, or B can even do not second job, third job, because second job is already allocated to A. Okay, B can even do fourth job. Okay, this is how it basically looks. So you can very clearly see B can be doing either first job or third job or fourth job. If B is equal to doing the first job. What is it? B is doing the first job. What is the value that you get? 6 plus. Again, be careful. We need to be careful of doing this one now. Okay. Now, if B is doing the first job, you can see the 6 value is there. Now, this first job cannot be assigned to any one of them. Okay. I'm talking about this second row, so I should not change any one of it. So minimum among, be careful, minimum among your J2, J3, J4, that I need to write. Minimum among your J2. This I cannot take because I'm talking about, see, this I cannot take. I'm assigning the B job only. I'm assigning for B person only. I cannot consider that. Okay. So minimum among 2, 8, 6, which is minimum 2. I'm going to write that. Plus, see, I'm talking about assigning B1, sorry, J1, job 1, right? B1 is nothing but B and J1. Okay, so minimum, next one, J3, minimum among 7, 1, 2. 7, 1, 2, minimum is nothing but equal to 1. Okay, then minimum among 8, 8, 4, equal to 4. What's the cost you get? Okay, this is nothing but equal to 13. Okay, then move into B3, assuming that third job is allocated to B, which is nothing but this one. Okay, it is allocated to 3. So what is going to happen? I need to check for a minimum aspect between J1, J2 and J4. Okay, minimum among 9, 5, 7, which is minimum. First of all, if B is doing the third job, what is the cost you have? 3. Okay, so I'm going to write that 3 plus minimum among 9, 5, 7. What is it? 5 plus minimum among 2, 8, 6. 2. Okay, 2, 8, 6. So it is nothing but equal to 2. Okay, next minimum among 8, 8, 4. Nothing but equal to 4. Okay, so what is the value you got? So look into this. Okay, what is the value you got? You got 8, 10, 14. Okay, next B is allocated the fourth job. What is going to happen? Check this. If B is doing the fourth job, which is very much here. So I need to figure out the minimum among these three. So among J1, minimum 9, 5, 7. Minimum is, before that, if it is doing the fourth job, you get 7 plus minimum among 9, 5, 7. Okay, 5 plus minimum among 2, 8, 6. 2. Minimum among 7, 1, 2. 1. What's the value you get? 7, 5, 2, 1 is very much equal to 15. Now you check. Okay, now you check which is the smaller among all these things or the least among all these things. 13. What is the meaning of that? That this will not be considered. These two will not be considered. Now again, one more thing also you got to know. The first thing was this one, right? You got to know that the second job was done by A. You got to know this because that was the minimum. So you got to know. Now the second job also you got to know that the first job is done by B. Okay, this also you got to know. Now there are only 2 jobs remaining, right? There are very much 2 jobs remaining. What is the 2 jobs? See, job 1 over, job 2 over, job 3 and job 4 are remaining. Who will be doing what? Either it will be between C and D. Very clear. Okay, it will be between C and D only. So let me figure out that also. Okay, let me figure out that also with what to see. We need to go start right from here now. Okay, if B is it's all done, what are the 2 jobs that are remaining? The 2 jobs that are remaining now are nothing but job 3 and job 4. Correct? Who are the 2 people who will be able to do it? C and D. Okay, either C will be doing your job 3 or job 4. Correct? C will be either doing your job 3 or job 4. Very simple. So now next thing is I need to figure out a thing with regard to C. See, we started with A, we done it. See, all A. Then I started with B. Now I need to go with C. So I'll go with C now. What is the next thing? I need to consider this row now. Okay, so let me do this. I told very clearly there are only 2 options for C. What is it? C will either be doing third job because first job is already done by B. Second job is already done by A. So third job will be doing, or C will be doing your fourth job. That's all. Okay, 2 options that are possible. Now if C is doing the third job, let me look into this. If C is doing the third job, what is the cost you have? 1 plus. Okay, next, see if I considering this, if I'm considering this, I should not be considering this row. All other things I need to figure out. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? I need to be careful of taking the values here. Okay, be careful. This row I should not consider. Okay, C row I should not consider. All and third column I should not consider because that only I'm trying to assign that 1. See, C doing a third job is 1. I've written that 1. Then minimum among all other things I need to figure out. Okay, minimum among 9. Okay, 6. Be careful. 9, 6 and 7. Which is minimum among all these things? 9, 6 and 7. Minimum is nothing but your 6. Plus, go to the next one. 2, 4, 6. Which is minimum? 2, 4, 6. Minimum is 2. Plus, among this one I need to consider, right? So what I'm going to do? Okay, the minimum among 8, 7, 4. Which is nothing but 4. Okay, 8, 7, 4. If I do that, what is the value I get? See, 1 plus 6, 7, 9, 13. Correct? It's very much equal to 13. Now I need to consider with regard to C is equal to 4. Okay, if C is doing the fourth job, be careful now. Now considering that C is doing the fourth job, this one. Same row only, which basically means I need to change the place which I should not be considering. Oh, okay, so if I'm doing this. So what is the meaning of that? The meaning is very simple. Among 7, 3, among these ones, which are minimum, look into this. Okay, if C is doing the fourth job, what is the cost here? 8. Plus minimum among 9, 6, 7. Minimum is 6. Minimum among 2, 4, 6. Minimum is 2. Then minimum among 7, 3 and 2. Minimum is 2. What's the value you get? 18. Okay, see. Among these two, which is smaller? The smallest is with regard to this one. So this will not be considered. Which is smallest? Smallest is C3. Now you check. See, A is doing job 1. Sorry, job 2. See, A is equal to 2. 2 is nothing but job 2. Okay, B is doing job 1, J1. C is doing job 3, J3. What is D doing? D doesn't have any choice, right? D doesn't have any choice. D should do, it should do 4, right? It should do 4 only. There's no other means for it because there's only one job remaining. So that should be done by that only. But that also you need to show, okay? We should show that in state space tree. This is nothing but your state space tree only. We need to show that also, that it's going to be, one second, yeah, it's going to be like this. That the last job, which is nothing but your T, will be done like this. T is equal to 4. Okay, it will be done like this. Okay, now you can see very clearly that all 4 jobs are done. Right? All 4 jobs are done. And also, each and every job is done by only one person. Right? It's all done by one person only. They are not changing it. Okay? They aren't changing it. It's all done by one person only. And what's the cost here? Be careful with the cost. That also you need to write. So what is the cost? If A is doing J2, if A is doing J2, what is the cost? You can see very clearly here also. Or we can write it right here itself. If A is doing J2, what's the cost here? See, A to J2. What is the cost here? 2. If B is doing J1, what's the cost here? 6. If C is doing J3, what's the cost here? 1. If D is doing J4, what's the cost here? 4. And total cost, how much you get? Total cost is, see very clearly you can see, it is nothing but equal to 13. What's the last value got here? That is also 13. If your problem is correct, you get the same value here also, Right? Check into this. 8, 9, 13. So total cost, the minimum cost, you don't call it total cost, you call it minimum cost. The minimum cost of what you got, that was equal to very much your 13. Okay, this is how you do the assignment part. Now you can see 2 conditions that were met. Is each job done by different person? Yes. Okay, or 2 people are not doing the same job? Yes, both are same. Then is that minimum cost? Yes. Okay, very important problem. Very important problem with regard to your internals, because the same, not same problem, a little bit different problem I've given. Okay, only one value I've changed, except that it remains the same itself. This is how you need to do. Okay, you need to write, see, this is very much your branch and bone problem that you got to be very careful of. It's very much your branch and bone problem. And also you need to figure out that what is the minimum cost you got. Okay, and using your state space tree only. I did use space tree only. I didn't use anything else. See, this is very much my state space tree.